This is the Carty Method Podcast.
Hey, welcome to another episode of the Carty Method Podcast. Today we do photo reviews. It's Thursday. Every Thursday, I give an incredibly detailed brief that I want you to complete. The goal is to complete that brief by the Wednesday next, and I review the photos on the Thursday. This week is no different. I gave a very specific brief this week, and this week, my goal for you was very simple. My goal was I wanted you to photograph yourself. I wanted you to photograph yourself using light and shadow. Now, I just have to reopen my browser. It is your favorite show. We call this Real Photo Reviews. All right. I'm excited to get into Real Photo Reviews because truly this instant feedback loop is what I believe everybody needs. Everybody needs an instant feedback loop. This is where you're able to actually hear what a professional, somebody who's been doing this, I've been doing this for 3.5 decades. I started photography. Why do I have a hard time with that word? It's what I do. I started with photography when I was 14. I literally went to a high school that had photography as a program from age 14. And I fell in love with photography. I learned how to develop and process and print really young when I was a teenager. I saw Vogue for the first time when I was 17. And that's when I realized I wanted to be a fashion photographer. And I've been working pro. I went to Ryerson, which is a photography university. It offered the best photography program in the country. And I went there when I was 19. Found myself really one of the top in the school. And I dropped out after a year and started my photography business. I was invited back after 3 years in business in 1995 to lecture to the next generation of photographers. So I literally started teaching photography in my third year in business. And I've been doing it ever since. Every one of my every one of the people who have assisted me, I've turned into photographers. And I'm here to help you become a professional photographer. I'm obsessed over helping the next generation of pros. And I do it here every week with these photo reviews. So let's get into it. If you're watching me live, welcome. I'm Carty, by the way. If you've never seen my smiling face before, let's get into this week's assignment. So this week's assignment is simple. I asked you to make some next level self-portraits. Next level self-portraits. That was my ask. I wanted you to make some next level self-portraits. I wanted you to create a vertical self-portrait with these elements: light, shadow, emotion, and you. And if you wanted to hear my emphatic explanation of this assignment, you got to watch how I explain these assignments at the end of these shows, which I'm going to do this week's assignment at the end of this show. I needed you to use light, shadow, and emotion to create a self-portrait. I wanted it to be vertical, 4,000 pixels wide by 100 dpi. And I asked you to not I asked you to not upload mobile. And Wednesday, last night, midnight, was your deadline. So I like to look at these portraits or these assignments, I'll say. I like to look at them in order. I ask for you to give them to me in all of those ways. And then what I do is I look at them in the order that they were submitted. We have well over 30 submissions this week. So I want to make sure that I hit everybody. So let's get into our first self-portrait. It is called Blah. This is Germaine Dean, shot with the Sony A7R Mark III LED through a wicker basket, shot with a Sigma 135, ISO 2000, 1.8 at a 20th of a second. This is Germaine Dean. Germaine Dean, thanks for submitting, Germaine. Let's go. Germaine, off the bat, this picture's dark. And you can see it's dark because it's dark. If you look at what my skin tone looks like at a normal exposure and what your skin tone looks like in this photo, you can say it's dark. I can see here that, yes, I know you wanted to create light and shadow and mystery, but we're losing so much detail back here that we actually are losing the other side of your glasses. This part of your face is going a little bit digital. And it's a bit offset. If you can see the distance here between your glasses and the distance here between the logo and here, it's quite pushed that way. So you have to center up, and the exposure is such a factor. If I go back and look at your settings for this, you were shooting at with a 135 ISO 2000. If you're needing ISO 2000, it means you need more light. It's simple. If you're needing ISO 2000, it means you need brighter light. And then you're shooting at 1.8 and you're shooting at a 20th of a second. Obviously, you're on a tripod, so you need to use a tripod, but you're moving. Like that slight movement that's happening in that 1/20th of a second is actually resulting in a little bit of camera movement in your skin, which you can see right here, which you can see a little bit in here. Although the frame is really sharp, I think it's the exposure that I'm having the hardest time getting out. This here is under by a full one stop. So I would love to see you reshoot this with a different source. If you're using an LED and that LED at full power is not giving you the f-stop that you need, it means that you need more light. It means that you need a brighter light source. And LEDs are used for video traditionally. Photography lights are strobe. They flash. So they give a bright duration for a short period of time. So that's why I recommend using studio strobes. If you're trying to do photography, especially trying to do people photography, doing it with LEDs, you're going to come up with limitations like you are right here, my friend Germaine. I hope that brought you value. That is Germaine Dean with our first submission. Just a little underexposed, Dean. Offset, and yeah, it's like close, but I think we missed on that one. Let's see our next photographer. Our next one is Seth Oliveras. Seth Oliveras. Seth says, light, shadow, emotion, and me. There's a time when I would often scream into the void just like this. Shot off the 80D, 50 millimeter, f8, 1/250th of a second, ISO 100. This is Seth Oliveras. Seth, thank you for submitting. Let's go, Seth. Let's look at this as a cover. There's something with your framing, and I'm going to show you what it is. It's where, like, you can see we have tons of headspace up here. Like, not only do we have your hairline here, but we also have this extra bit of hair here. But where your chin is actually cutting off. So your eye line is actually dead center in the middle of the frame. And we're trying to not drop our eye line, like, right in the center. The eye line should be closer to somewhere in between this range in here. We have lots of room for the masthead. You can see what it looks like when the masthead is there, but it actually feels like the picture is too low. You can feel like it feels low. It's a little claustrophobically pushed over that way because I can see where this second eye is, and that eye, you can see the distance here versus the distance here. This is another situation where I love the energy. I love the coming out of the light. Like, you had it. The exposure here is under by, I would call this half a stop. But yeah, I just need like a little bit more centering and a little bit more up with the framing. You can use the in-camera app. Many of these cameras have like an app so you can shoot self-portraits and like see yourself in the screen and frame yourself properly. This one is close. I'm giving you love though, Seth, because this is incredibly close. And you had the light and shadow, you had the emotion. It's just the framing is what we missed a little bit. I would have cropped this right about here across the top of your head, possibly even a little bit lower, Like you could have gone as low as cropping your head right there. That would have brought your eye line much higher and still would have gone onto black down here without giving you that claustrophobic cut on your chin. I hope this helps you. That is Seth. Thanks, Seth. All right, who's next? Next is Mike Morrison. Mike says, pre-race prayer. Sony A7R5 with a 24-70 GM Grandmaster. Mark II shot at 70, 1/80th of a second, 5.6 at 1/60th of a second. This is Mike Morrison. Mike, thanks for submitting. Mike, at first glance, this is a yes. This is a yes for me, 100%. This says everything that I needed to say. Let's look at it closer. I think we're okay here. The focus is more so on your forehead than it is here in your eye, but because of the way that your frames are, and you have very much the same kind of a prescription as I do, Mike, it makes it hard for the eye tracking to catch on your eye because this bar is here. My suggestion in this is like rotate your face so you're just a little bit more to camera, so the camera has, like, the camera can grab the tracking, but really your focus is good here. I have no real issue with the focus. The nose is tack sharp. This is a yes for me. This is a yes for me, Mike Morrison. This is a yes. This is 100% exactly what I asked for. It's emotional. It's got amazing light and shadow. It's got a bit of a story. You're in a car. It's like that pre-race jitters. Like, this is yes. This is a yes for me. This says everything that I need a self-portrait that conveys light, shadow, and emotion to say. This is 100% an 11 from Mike Morrison. Congratulations, Mike. You killed this one. Excellent. Excellent. Very well done. Very well done. All right, let's see who's next. Our next shooter is Samuel Sailing. Samuel says DIY projects are super easy. Sony A7 Mark IV 50mm 1.4 at 5.6, 60th of a second, ISO 500. Continuous light plus reflector. First time using lights, he said. I worked in this basement 20 years ago. I revisited. We plan to renovate the house and relocate there in the near future. This is Samuel Sailing with his first artificial light attempt. Samuel, let's go. Light and shadow, emotion, self-portrait. Samuel, you hit so many elements for me here. Let's look at this as a cover. Yeah, this is it for me. You really nailed this for me as, like, how can I call it? Like, the light and shadow part, you're new to artificial light. So I have to be gentle with you. Like, as far as giving yourself, like, just flattering light on the first attempt, I give you an absolute applause on that. Like, really knowing how to light a face to make it, like, flattering. I mean, this light is very simple. It's very simple, but you executed it well. Now, I'm going to nudge because, like, really the coming out of the light and shadow, like, you actually are playing the light and shadow. You're playing the light and shadow game right here, you know, and the fact that there's this hole there, the pickaxe, the pose, like, this is a yes for me. This is a yes for me. I'm giving you an 11. This is yes. Yeah, this is it. I'm going to rate you, Samuel. This is a yes. Samuel is also in my Pro Accelerator group. Congratulations, Samuel. This is a really great job. Really great job. And again, it's like, you notice. Like, you notice when you try. You notice. All right, let's see who's next. This is Steu Bowden. Steu Bowden says, the story of bewilderment and frustration endured when a child's behavior prompts their school to call you. Feeling emotion is easy. Freezing it commands attention less so. Shot in a small space, vertically mounted on a tripod with a 10-second timer. Fuji XH2, 1/25 of a second, shot at 1.4. Wide open, Steu. ISO 1250. You don't need to shoot at wide open when you're shooting at ISO 1250. Drop your ISO by half and now close down by a stop. You can go easily from 1.4 to 2.5. You can go from ISO 1250. I guess, you can drop your shutter here. I see the situation because you can't open your aperture wider and you're shooting at ISO 1250. So what I would do, because you're on a shutter and you're shooting with a 50, I would half your shutter speed to a 60th of a second and then keep your ISO the same and drop your f-stop. You can just see the settings here, kids. Drop your f-stop to, you can now drop your f-stop down by one full stop. Just this 1/25th, just bring this down to a 60th. And then the 1.4 can go to the one stop closed. And that works super, super simple. All right, let's have a look at what Steu Bowden has to give us. Steu, thanks for submitting. Steu, the emotion in the light, oops, I haven't shared the screen. The emotion in the light is right off the bat is a yes. Right off the bat is a yes. 100%. It's a yes for me right off the bat. And I'm definitely feeling the eye contact. Let's look at the focus. The focus is good. The only thing that we're missing is color balance. Color balance is your friend. Right now you can see how yellow this is because you're using if this is sunlight, then it's the last little bit of sun, and that sunlight is super, super warm. If this is LED through Venetians, the LED wasn't balanced for daylight, it's balanced for tungsten, and because of that, it is actually casting warm. I'm imagining that this is a white wall. What I want you to do is grab white balance from here, from that wall. If this is a gray shirt, you can also go into the shadow detail here and grab white balance from there. Alternatively, you can grab, not there, but you can grab white balance from this part of the color of the eye. But we need to white balance this because this is way too warm. I hope that brings you value, Steu. But this, as far as a following the brief, this is 100% a yes. It's 100% a yes. It's just the color balance. You can't let pictures go out that are warm. You can't let them go out that are like so warm that you just know that that's not the temperature. Like this light that I have on me right now is balanced for daylight. So it looks normal. It looks normal. But if I was to change the color temperature of this, if I was to change the color temperature of this light, look at this. Look at this. Look at this. Could you tolerate me doing my show like this? Think about it. Like literally, could you tolerate me doing my show like this? Oh my word. That's just color balance. That's because I just lowered the color temperature of this light to make it tungsten. And the camera's balanced for daylight. I can do the same thing by making my light really cold. And that's warm. This is making my light really, really cold. And you can see in my skin, it just looks gray and dead. And this is back to daylight. This is how my skin actually looks. But this is what your photo looks like. So you can see just like that, with color balance alone, you can really, really fix your photographs. So that's your problem right here, Steu Bowden. That is color balance, my guy. Hope that brings you value. All right. Steu Bowden, thank you for submitting. And again, so close, man. Steu, so close. So close. So close. I would really love you to fix the color balance and post that to Just Chatting for us, okay? This is Sean Thomas. This is a tough one. I'm currently going through some of the toughest, roughest times in my life. It seems lately I'm surrounded by death. I had a close friend pass, one of my favorite uncles, and for a little while now, also parts of me. The parts of me are my own doings as I'm trying to kill the parts off that no longer serve me. It's been a struggle just because the ego came back the very next day. I hope you enjoy my self-portrait entitled A Tear in Time. Shot with the Canon EOS R, 1/60th of a second at 4.5 ISO 125. Shot at 24 millimeter with a Tamron 24-70 2.8. This is the one they call Sean Thomas. Sean, thanks for submitting. Wow, Sean. Wow, Sean. This is super powerful. I love this detail on this other side. You have really strong exposure. Your exposure is really balanced. Just this little hint of light here on this other side. Obviously, this tear, like this is as real as it gets as far as putting yourself out there. I love the fact that you've held shadow detail. You've held some shadow detail in here in order to get detail in the lips and the nose here and the beard. It all really works for me, Sean. This is a yes. There's, for me, just a touch too much headspace. As you can see up here, this is all wasted space. And I would really prefer to even see you closer. Yes, your chin line is like here with your beard, but you're still dropping your head, like you're dropping your eye line like right through the center of the frame. I'd really love to see your eye line higher. Again, ideally, your eye line is somewhere between this line and this line in here. And then for me now, the masthead really works and you don't feel like you're too low in the frame. And it makes these eyes punch as hard as the behind the picture logo, because now these eyes appear here and here. So for me, it's like, it's a little bit closer. It's a little bit closer, but this is 100% a win for me. This is 100% a win, dude. This is great. Fantastic shot, Sean. And again, it's like, it's because you dove deep. And it's like, I asked you to reach in. And you see, when you reach in to make a photo, you reached inwards to make that photo. And because of that, like, it caused so much reflection and it's like, then now you have tears in your eyes, you know. And I know you're having a struggle, bro. I'm helping you, like I'm helping you on your struggle, but this is going to change, and you know it's going to change. It just has to do with your resilience, and I know you have lots of it. This is Stephen Bourdeau. Good evening, Carty and fellow crew. For this shot, I set up the strobe outside, ding ding, without a modifier to mimic a setting sun, and closed the blinds a bit to cast some interesting shadows for some added dimension. I wish I could deliver a happier emotion on demand, but sadly, this is not the case these days. Canon R6 50mm 1.8, shot at a 2/50th of a second, f4.5 at ISO 100. This is Stephen B. Seems that everybody dove deep for their portraits this week. Holy shit, Steve. This is fantastic. What a vibe. You have beautiful Rembrandt lighting. This is exactly the kind of push that you need. Really strong on the eye line, Steve. Like, honestly, I couldn't ask for a more deliberate placement of that eye line, nicely above the center line, so it feels like it's in the upper part of the picture. You've given your hand enough space here, given your shoulder enough space here, you've given yourself enough space here. You're centered, And you've given space here that if I need to cut all of this off for an 8x10, it totally works. This is what we call textbook execution, Steve. This is unequivocally an 11, my guy. This is a yes. This is a yes. This is a banger, Steve. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. 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 By the way, if this is bringing you value, hit the like button, because if one of my moderators tell me that I hit 25 likes today and I've lowered the bar because last time I asked for 50 likes, you didn't make it. So if I don't get 25 likes on this live stream right now, I will not be gifting any memberships. But if I get 25 likes, then I will hit my gifted button, and my gifted button randomly gifts 5 members to people who are part of this channel. So if you want to be gifted, number 1, you got to watch. Number 2, if you want me to gift anybody, you got to hit the like button. And we're already at 28. Okay, so we got to make it higher. How many people are watching? Let's see how many people are watching, because I have 50 people watching. Okay, there we go. The bar is now 50. That means I will gift 1 member for every 10 likes that I have. And I can only gift 5. So this is a bundle. If, like, we're at 33 now, I need to hit, super simple, 50, and then I gift 5. So please, everybody who's watching, if you're watching on TV, just open it on your phone. If you're driving, try not to crash. But when you hit a stoplight, hit the like button. All right. And when my moderators tell me that I've hit 50, and that means everybody who's watching, all you got to do is hit the like button, and then boom, instant gifted subs. That was Stephen B, everybody. Thanks, Stephen, for submitting. We are at our next submitter. This is Vicky Sonic. Vicky said, I sat in front of my bathroom door and used plastic sheet to show me fighting through imposter syndrome, doubt, negative talk, and just basically all the things that try to make you quit pursuing your dream career. Shot with a Nikon Z6 Mark II, 28 to 75 at 2.8. 28 to 75 f2.8, shot at 28 millimeter f 2.8 at 80th of a second. This is ISO 2000 ISO 250. I can't even speak. This is Vicky Sonic. I'll say that again. 28 millimeter 80th of a second f 2.8 at 250th of ISO 250. Okay, this is Vicky Sonic. Let's go, Vicky. Well done. Light, shadow, and emotion. Vicky, holy moly, did you knock this one out of the park. I love the use of plastic. The backlight, top light, it's just, this is just a yes. This is a yes on like every sense of the word. Like, this is just a yes. Please make more of these emphatic, passionate photographs. Like, the thing that I want you to see is the light that you used here. And this is going to lead into next week's assignment. It's really going to lead into next week's assignment, Vicky. This is going to help you greatly. I need to see you execute this light again and ideas this deep for client work and personal work. This is 100% an 11 out of 10 from Vicky Sonic. Well played, Vicky. Killer. All right. Wow, Vicky. Joshua Haney. This is called The Joy of Fatherhood. R6, 85 millimeter, f4, 1/25th of a second, ISO 200. This is Joshua Haney with his emotional self-portrait showing light and shadow. Joshua Haney, nice shot, Joshua. Like, this, despite it's just a touch, like it's focused on your nose more so than your eye, like the moment is just everything. And the moment really is everything. And if we put this masthead up there, Like that suddenly feels like it's a very believable magazine cover. Like this is really special, Joshua. And again, it's like you managed to shoot this photo of yourself as well as convey everything that I asked for. You know, I mean, there could be a little bit more drama in the light, but really this fits the brief for me wholeheartedly. What I want you to watch is just contrast. Contrast is just a touch low. What I want you to see is this, which is gray. And I want you to notice that we got gray here, we got gray here, we got gray here. And even in the white shirt is kind of reading gray. The beard's reading gray. Your daughter's hair is reading gray. The background's reading gray. So what that is, that's contrast. So what I would do in this case is I would bump the brightness because the exposure here is under by a third. Or we'll call that, like, if you increase, you need to go like 0.3 on the plus side. And then that brightness is going to then now you can decrease your black level. You can do this in like levels. I usually like to do it using black levels. And again, for me, then you kind of hit it. You get your shadows a little bit more dark and not quite black, but blacker. And you get your whites in that shirt popping a little bit. So that shirt feels crispy, and then the contrasted match. But this is a super, super great effort. And I'm giving you an 11 here. Because again, you, including your daughter, was killer. Well done. Well done. All right. All right. The beard is gray, he says. Oh my goodness me. My goodness me. Let me try something here. Let me try something here. Oops, what am I doing? Chat publicly as Carty. Let's see if this works. All right. 49 people. Let's see. How many likes are we at now, people? Did we make 50 likes? I'm gonna gift members if we make 50 likes. I'm gonna give 5. All right. This is Cynthia Lilly. Here's my attempt at a self-portrait. Showing emotion and playing with shadow and light. Definitely a challenge for me to sit for this. After working for hours with different angles, I had double vision from not wearing my glasses. Light source was a cell phone flashlight mounted on a tripod, shining through a colander that was duct taped to another tripod. Wow. Shot with the Sony A7 Mark III 85mm 2.8 at 1.3 seconds at ISO 250. This is Cynthia Lilly. Cynthia, thanks for submitting. Rocking my creative patch sewn on your hat. Let's go, Cynthia. Thanks for submitting. So Cynthia, the idea is there. The idea is there. It's just the iPhone flashlight is not going to be enough to light a scene, and a scene necessary in order to do what you're trying to do. Like, truly, I don't think that an iPhone flashlight is enough. And it's proving because of the, you're having to shoot at 1.5 seconds, which works when you're shooting architecture on a tripod, but it doesn't work when you're shooting a human. Because humans breathe, they move, their hearts beat. Like, it's impossible for a human to be like a statue, like a building over that time. That's why even if you were on a tripod, there's still camera shake. So the idea is there, bringing in half light, meaning totally from the side. We've talked about how that just reveals a whole bunch of other stuff. This is a tricky idea, Cynthia. And I know that shooting people and being in front of the camera and all of this is all difficult. I'm going to give you a 10 out of 10 for idea, and I have to give you like a 5 out of 10 for execution. And that's just because you didn't use an LED, you didn't use a studio strobe, you didn't use something that's going to like give you the kind of pop that you need to get the exposure that you need for this idea. So it's like natural light is the best way, and the brightest light, do the same thing, but use the sun instead of trying to use an iPhone flashlight. That's why this one fails for me. Cynthia Lily. Let's go. Cynthia, thanks for submitting. I know it's a hard assignment, but they're supposed to be. They're supposed to be hard. And they're also, you can see other people figuring out a way to execute it. So this is Salim El Madani. Salim says, sometimes this photography business is hitting the wall or hitting a wall after hitting a wall. The important part is not stopping. And that I got Rembrandt and I was chasing it. Remember, this is a marathon, not a sprint. Shot on a Sony A7R Mark III 85 millimeter. Same lens, same camera. I at 1/800th of a second, f6, ISO 160. Also, the first pic that I've edited on his new Mac laptop. Another person I converted from a PC to a Mac. Hey, another convert. Let's go. Chalk that up probably to 200. All right, this is Salim El Madani. Let's go, Salim. Thanks for submitting. Salim, let's go. Really great with the processing. Really great with like even the fact that like you put in like a prop shirt with like blood drops. Really super tight focus and your work is improved already. It's already improved just in having better color and better like, oh my goodness, this is great. Let's look at this as a cover. I mean, in this case, you dropped yourself lower in the frame, but it works for me because of how dramatic this light and shadow is. Let me just close that cover. For how dramatic this light and shadow is, like this line, I know why you cropped it where you did, like you needed to in order to get that. And then the Rembrandt light that you have happening here on this side of your face, really good exposure. You didn't lose any highlights. The blood on the shirt, the elbow we're clipping here. I definitely wish that we weren't that claustrophobic on the elbows. How we do that is rather than having the elbows out, you have the elbows in. You just bring your elbows in just a bit. You're holding your hair. You just bring your elbows in just a bit so they're not like on the edge of the frame. Just bring them in. Just bring them in. Alternatively, I know you can't twist because you had perfect Rembrandt light. So your only option is bringing your elbows in this way or bringing one elbow in. You know what I mean? So this is all the stuff that is difficult when it comes to shooting self-portraits. But for me, you nailed this. This is a yes for me. This is a yes. This is 100% hitting the brief, and actually not just hitting the brief, but knocking it way out of the park. Salim, also in my mentorship program, I have an hour with Salim every month, once on one-on-one, and he's also in my accelerator. It's like, it's something clicked, dude. Something clicked for you this one. I'm so happy that you have the proper post-production machine. Now, this is a yes for me, Salim. Congratulations. Oh, by the way, did I not give you the 11? Did I not give you the 11? There you go, Salim. Well done. Well done. By the way, Carty crew, Carty Cartel, my clip command is working, so you can clip until your cows come home. Go crazy. All right, this is Jay Williams. The emotion, this is an emotion I think a lot can relate to, or at least aspire to. Realizing and grasping salvation after a long day of job hunting. Pentax K3 Mark III, 50, 1/60th of a second, f8, ISO 100. This is a 2-light setup from Jay Williams. Jay Williams, let's go. Dramatic light and shadow. Let's look at this as a cover. Yeah, Jay, I'm feeling where you're going here. the dramatic light, definitely I'm feeling it's just because the light is coming so much from the side. Your main light is, let's just draw some shadow lines. Your main light, I can see the highlight here. Your main light is coming from here. Because your face is turned on this axis this way, you're not getting any light in here on your eye. It's obviously putting that shadow, and obviously you're getting like next to no light on the other side. I'm sure you have your second light over here kicking in a little bit of this without taking out the drama, which I appreciate. But that front light, I feel like was too far around that way, which is now making the side of your face that is supposed to be relatively lit a bit unlit. How you change that is you just look at camera rather than look off to over your right shoulder. If you were looking at camera, or better still, even looking a little bit more that way, you could still achieve this drama side on the face, but this eye doesn't fall out. Because you can imagine the eye is a globe, right? It's a three-dimensional ball, and this side of the ball is lit, but then this side of the ball isn't lit. And then also just this angle of your face, the way that it's putting this hard shadow line here, that's because that shadow line is literally, let me just take that away here. That shadow line is here because of your, like the bridge of your brow here. And the light you can see is coming from up here. So that's actually casting shadow over top of your eye, which you're giving yourself raccoon eyes just from your light placement. So the light's too high and it's too over. So it's like you got to change your head angle in order to make your head angle fit this light, or you need to change your light to fit this head angle. But one of those two you have to do. And also, like, just with your arms and stuff like that, make sure you're not feeling static. Like, make sure that it feels like a natural movement. To me, the way your shoulders are, it feels a little bit like you're posing this shot. But you're close here, Jay. Like, this is like a 10 out of 10. There's a couple of small fine tunes that you could do in order to make this 11. The non-distracting background, check. You really like took all the distractions away from the set by putting fabric over top of the table here, which like took away like this and made it so we're focusing on this. You put fabric back here over the chair, which that putting fabric over the chair, that made it so the chair back here is less distracting, which are all hits that make it so I focus really just on what you're doing, which is this on these want ads and picking up a camera, because that's what so many people started to do after COVID. I hope this brought you value, Jay. It's very, very, very close. Just a couple of things with the light placement. All right. Let's see who's next. Next is Thomas Wallace. Getting back on the rotation on this self-portrait assignment. Took this while feeling lost in my living room with 2 RGB panels. Hope everyone had a great week. Nikon Z7 24-70 at 24, ISO 800, shot at a 13th of a second at f8. This is Thomas Wallace. Thomas Wallace. Thanks for submitting, Thomas. Dramatic light, shadow, emotional, self-portrait. Let's have a look at this. Let's see this as a cover. I mean, it definitely has a steez. It has a swag to it. Your hand is radically cut across the knuckles. Like, I really need to see the rest of your fingers. The way that your shoulder is on, all you need to do is just bring this arm back on your leg more. So then we see your hand, and your hand isn't cut off, and then your hand becomes the main focus. This is also a wide angle portrait. So when you're shooting wide angle, it's going to distort. Your head is small. The hand is huge, proportionately looks much bigger than that. This part of the guitar looks pretty big, but this upper part of the guitar looks small. You can actually see how the lines are converging. We know that this line and this line are the same distance. But you can see how those lines are converging, so it actually looks like it's getting narrow. It's because you're shooting a portrait wide angle. And again, this is just like what we don't do. We don't shoot portraits wide angle because they distort. And we also don't put the camera low and us high and aim up at someone, because aiming up at someone is like not a cool angle. It's not a flattering angle. So you'll notice today the most effective pictures are like hammer straight, dead straight on, because we want to see something from the same perspective. You don't want to be like looking up at something or looking down at something. Like that perspective shifts, and you have the camera on the ground on like a tripod that's this big, and your head is way higher. Therefore, we're aiming up. Therefore, all our lines converge, including your head. So for me, like just the way that you shot this is a little bit odd. The most interesting part of the picture exists up here. And when you see it like this, that distortion isn't quite as predominant. So small things that I want you to think about. There's also reflections on your glasses because you're looking directly to where the panel is, which then kind of just messes with the catch lights in your eyes. So that kind of, it's just small things that like take us out of the moment. And then you're also doing uplighting, meaning your other light is down here aiming up. So therefore now we have the shadow from that light going up here, your head, the shadow from your head pushing up the wall, but then another one over here. So you're mixing, there's two different lights, and you're creating really conflicty shadows, because the guitar shadow here and here, it's like leaning this against the wall and you being against the wall. You'll notice when people use double gels, what makes it most effective is they're not against the wall. So there's not double shadow. They pull off the wall so they can get double gels and have no shadows behind, which is when it actually looks right. So if you're going to use double gel light, you're going to use gel light at all, or two lights at all, you can't do that and also be up against the wall. Try not to uplight, because uplight is never flattering. And watch the wide angle for shooting people, dude. That's also something that's never flattering. I hope that helps you. Thomas Wallace. Thanks for submitting, Thomas. All right, next. This is Doyle Daniels. Wanted to visualize the struggle that I have with my faith in the past. This was shot in a bathroom. If you want to get weird looks, take self-portraits in the bathroom. I took many photos. Some with sweat and some without sweat, but I decided with sweat told the story better. Plus, it was super hot. Shot with the Nikon Z8 50mm 1.2 at f4.5 at 1/20th of a second. ISO 800 captured on a tripod, reflector being propped up with my foot. This is Doyle Daniels with his emotional light and shadow self-portrait. Doyle Daniels. Doyle, this is big. This is big. I really like the feeling of this. It really gives me like oomph, you know? It really gives me oomph. So let's look at the masthead. It's framed well, like you're framed in the center, but just because it's just the way that you're a little claustrophobic here. Your lines are straight, so that's strong. Good headspace as far as where your eye line is in the frame. That's really strong. I love the rim light. The rim light's super strong coming in from this backlight. You got great exposure in here. This is wicked. This is a yes for me. It's just such a small thing with the framing here. Just this arm is too close. It's too close. And I also don't want to see like this black. It's like a small thing. You cut that out on this archway. You could equally cut it out on that archway and just move your camera around this way to hit this a little bit more straight on. Small things, Doyle, but this is a yes for me. This is a yes for me for an emotional self-portrait, yes. This is 100% yes. Ooh. I'm guessing you're passionate about photography, but navigating the leap from hobbyist to professional can feel like a daunting, solitary journey. You know that you have the potential, but what you need is a clear path and expert guidance. I'm sure you also know that photography school costs upwards of $50,000, or maybe you think you're too old to go back to school. That's where I come in. I can give you delivery of my patented Carty method one-on-one. It's not just any mentorship, it's a personalized deep dive into a proven 6-phase system that I've developed over my 33-year career. Together, we'll walk through each phase of the Carty method, tailored specifically to your needs and your pace. Whether it's mastering the art of composition, or understanding the business side of photography, or even developing your unique style, I'll be there to guide you every step of the way. You can take the first step towards realizing your dream of becoming a professional photographer very simply. Enroll in the Carty Method one-on-one mentorship today. With personalized guidance and actionable steps at every session, you're not just learning, you're actually transforming. My time is limited. There's only 24 hours in a day, so I can only take on 8 shooters this way. So apply now to secure your spot and start your journey to becoming a professional photographer. All right, everybody, that was Doyle Daniels. Doyle, thanks for submitting. So I hear we're like, we got 57 people watching. I have 48 likes. I need 2 people to hit the like button and I'll gift 5 memberships. Hit the like button. If you're watching on TV, open the app on your phone, open YouTube on your phone, hit the like button. I'll get notified. My guys will tell me, and then I will gift 5 memberships. Super simple. I actually want to gift you 5 memberships. I actually do. I'm wanting to. I'm needing to. All right. What are we at? What are we at, people? This is Manuel Denis. Deep thoughts, or are you really paying attention? Fuji XH2. 56 millimeter, f11, 125 at 2/50th of a second. 2 light setup. Let's go, Manuel Denis. Manuel, let's go. This is Manuel's natural. This is light, shadow, emotion, self-portrait. Let's go, Manuel Denis. Let's go. Off the top, this is a yes for me. This is a yes for me. 100%. This is such a punch. Oh, you see 52? You see 55? 50. All right. All right. Stand by, Manuel. Stand by. I have to be a man of my word. I got to keep my promises. So what I like to do is first, I like to set the tone in case someone else feels like matching the 5 memberships that I'm about to gift, and also gift some of their own vibes. So I like to set the tone by bringing in, you know, a little bit of vibe. Now that we have some vibe. Oh, Mr. X gifted. Let's go. Mr. Double X just gifted. Steve Young, you just got gifted a membership by Mr. XX. Let's go. Thank you, Mr. X. I appreciate you, whoever you are. And, oh my God, Stymats with the super. Let's go, Stymats. Thank you. This is great, great incentive. Now it's my turn. Now it's my turn. In 5, 4,
3, 2, 1, baby. Here we go.
Let's go. Let's go. All right. All right, all right, all right. Hopefully I don't have any effects on my voice right now. Guys, let's see who got gifted. John Guest, you got gifted. Visuals by Christina Cole, you got gifted. Riz Khalifa, you got gifted. Cynthia, you got gifted by Vicky. Vicky, thank you so much for gifting a membership. Vicky, you're a queen. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. I just missed that. Vicky just gifted. Let's go. Vicky has gifted a membership. Stymats with the super. Mr. X, I gifted a membership. Let's go. We're rocking and rolling here. We're trying to get to like We're trying to get to 300 members. You see how hard I work here with all this vibes. All the vibes. All the vibes. All right. So, every once in a while I put on my kid's voice.
This is my kid's voice.
But it's not on right now, right? Just to make sure. All right. All right. Let's get in. Oh my goodness. It got smoky in here. Look at this. Holy moly, it got smoky in here. We like to bring the vibes. Let's get into Manuel Denis. Manuel, this for me is unequivocally a yes. Really, really great detail. Good shadow detail. Good focus. Yes, strong focus, good exposure. And again, this look on your face, it's like, it says it all. It says it all, meaning I'm not thrilled that you made me do this, but I'm doing this. And it reads, and it reads well. This is a yes for me. This is 100% a yes for me. This is an 11, in fact, Manuel Denis. This is exactly what I needed from you, and it really establishes you here and really helps me understand the kind of a creator you are. And again, the intensity, I love the intensity. The intensity is everything. TR, let's go with the gifted. TR, I see you. Thank you for gifting a membership. TR, I just put up Vicky. TR just gifted. Let's go. And by the way, I'm wearing the Carty Crew embroidered creative. Look at this. Embroidered, baby. This is the best hoodie I own. It's available in the merch store. You'll probably be able to see it like right here somewhere. All my creative merch on the sidebar. This stuff's dope. So many of you have bought merch already. Thank you. Appreciate you all. So, Manuel Denis, this is a yes. This was an 11 out of 10. If it wasn't clear, you win. This is great. Great, great, great job. Great job. Good. I need 11s. 11s make my heart go pitter-patter. And it really shows me that you care about this, you care about these assignments, and it makes me enthusiastic as far as giving them. Our next submitter, his name is Ammon Thompson. Ask Me Kindly is what this photo is called. Fujifilm X-T5 56mm 1.4. This is an 85mm equivalent. ISO 125, 250th of a second at f11. Single strobe with reflector. Negative fill on side. Negative fill. Negative fill. That guy's a negative dude. Negative fill. Let's see Ammon. Ammon with his Superman portrait. This is full Clark Kent mode, my guy. This is banging. Really, really strong. I like the expression. This is strong, Ammon. This is a yes for me. Let's make this masthead just a touch bigger. This is a yes for me, Matt. Like, honestly, I like the fact that you use negative fill, and negative fill is going to give you, and negative fill, by the way, is not a guy named Phil who's just really negative. Negative fill is what Ammon used to give himself no reflection on this side of his face, like none. So it actually gave us true light and dark. And this exposure, Ammon, I'm going to give you like 100% on this exposure. This is a 10 out of 10. This is a 10 out of 10 on exposure. This is what normal looks like. This is what normal looks like. This is what skin's supposed to feel like. There's just hints of highlight, but nothing really burning out. And white feels white, but still not unbelievably white where it blows out. This is a yes, Ammon. This is 100% an 11. Well done. Well done. Ammon, one of the accelerators. Let's go, Ammon. Again, I like, you shoot self-portraits really well. It's one of those things that you excel at. And who knew that you were going to be really good at self-portraits? Who knew that? And again, it's like all these things, and wait till you see this week's assignment. I'm going to break your brain. I'm going to break your brain. I can't wait for this week's assignment. This is Daniel Van Cleef, self-portrait assignment, Behind the Iron Gate. After trying out a few ideas and sharing them with the community for some peer feedback, this became my choice. I had some good challenges and limitations with the spacing due to the fact that the gate is not perfectly made. I will have a word with my landlord. Use the strobe softbox for light and a dark background to make sure it's black and white even when shooting at night. Fuji X Pro 3 ISO 1250 1/25th of a second f6.4 at 50 millimeter with a crop sensor. This is the one they call Daniel Van Cleef. Daniel, let's get it on. Daniel, this is haunting. This is haunting. Technically, I feel I think that you shot this LED instead of strobe. Strobe would have given you that pop and that exposure that you needed. This is like a reason why we need strobes over LED lights. It's because of that pop. Even at night, you're able to shoot it. Let's just see what your readings were again. You're able to shoot it and not be at, you were at 1250 ISO at 1/25th of a second at 6.4. So listen, you might have shot this with a strobe, Daniel. You might have shot this with a strobe, but you don't need ISO 1250 because you're shooting at 6.4. So I feel like try to shoot the lowest ISO you can, and I'm going to show you why. When we get into close, right, this close is where we start to lose the ISO. Is you can see it in here in the shadow detail, and in here, and in here, right? Like this lack of sharpness, that comes from high ISO when you're not shooting with a $5,000, $6,000, $7,000, $8,000 camera. When I show you my frames at 1250 at that close, you'll be like, holy shit, that looks like ISO 100. But again, I shoot with the R5, so it's different. It holds up different. Most situations though, if you don't give the sensor enough light, it's always going to result in this, even if it's an expensive camera. Light, you can make amazing things with an iPhone with enough light. So your light direction and your idea is, I'm giving you a 10 out of 10 on idea. Like 100%, Daniel, this is a 10 out of 10 on idea. The way that you have like these in hearts, like, you know, in front, and you're looking right through here. Like all of these things are just like, yes, 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 dude. And the framing, like you framed it properly. It looked like it's a proper cover. Like you framed it properly. Your eye line, you're not dropped like dead center. So your eye line is right. You know, you're just above center. You give yourself tons of space. It works on it. Like it's just the ISO. It's just the ISO. With your camera is going to start getting really mad at you when you get above 800. So you need to give your camera enough light so you can shoot ISO 800 and lower. If like some cameras, they do really, really, really well in low light. This particular body and sensor that you have, it just doesn't hit at the ISO that you shot. So give it more light. Cool. This is Daniel Van Cleef. And again, Daniel, still an absolute banger. An absolute banger. Andrew, welcome. Thanks for subscribing. An absolute banger. This truly is like amazing. It's just like, I can't give 11s unless they're perfect. And like Daniel, who's in my accelerator, like your progress in this last month, it's been like phenomenal. But like, don't forget light. Don't forget when I'm asking light and shadow, you could have a bright room, close all the blinds and just let in a little shaft of sunlight. Put a little smoke in the room. Now you have that shaft of sunlight lit, and there's your natural light picture that's going to give you the ISO that you need in order to make the sensor happy. I hope that brings you value. That is Daniel Van Cleef, everybody. So close, Daniel. Shit. So close, my guy. It's just like up close. Up close is where we're missing. All right. This is Joseph Baldwin. Here's my photo submission. Spent 2 hours waiting in a tunnel, hoping to catch the perfect interplay of shadow and light. 2 hours. At one point, I hit a breaking point and even had a bit of an ugly cry while I waited. Can you spot it? Shot with the Canon EOS R, 50mm 1.8, ISO 400, shot at 25th of a second at f10. This is Joseph Baldwin. Joseph. Let's go, Joseph. Thanks for submitting. Hello. Where'd your photo go? Sorry. I don't know what happened there. Let me find you. JJB. JJJB. Let me find you. I don't know why that didn't open, Joseph. I apologize. Open image in new tab, bro. Here we go. Yeah, try it again. Joseph Baldwin, everybody. Joseph, the Rembrandt is all day. Really strong portrait. Really strong light and shadow. Let's look at this as a cover. Like this is an editorial portrait at its finest. And again, it's you. And it's shot so well that it almost looks like you shot a portrait of this person. Like the light, the placement is actually perfect, dude. Like it really, really, really is strong. I want you to see the framing. Look at this corner of the eye and this framing here and this corner of the eye and that framing there. How centered it is. It's really, really, really close. I mean, I'll give you like, this is the absolute center of the frame. So yes, we are offset a touch, but it works for me, Joseph. It gives me interest and it gives balance. Because if you look and you see this shadow line and you see the way that your shoulders are going and then this head axis, it just works for me. This is a yes. This is a yes. Really good exposure. Let's have a look at it close. You have to watch your shutter speed, Joseph. It's just a touch. I mean, how many people this photograph brought tears to their eyes? Like, this is insane how many people, when I ask them to put themselves on camera, it actually brings tears to their eyes. You know, it's crazy when you really look in and remember why it is that you do this. This is incredible. Joseph, I feel like just with your settings, big guy, it's a couple of small things, but I feel like if we had have dropped the ISO or increased the ISO from 400 to 800, you could have taken your shutter speed from a 25th of a second to a 50th of a second. And with an EOS R, you can shoot up to 1,000. I would have shot 1,000 ISO. I would have changed. I would have went from 400 to 1,000 ISO. I would have went from 1/25th of a second to like a 50th of a second. And I would have went from 1.8. Shoot. Oh, no, you shot at f10. Never mind everything I just said. You shot at f10. That you don't need to shoot at f10. I would have shot that at 5.6. And then you could have got way more shutter speed, like shorter shutter speed. And yeah, you would have been fine. So yeah, he shot this at f10 at 1/25th of a second, at a 25th of a second, not 1/25th, a 25th of a second, f10 at ISO 400. So yeah, you could have totally changed that. Let's look at this photo one more time. But yeah, that's the reason that you got just a touch of shake in here. But other than that, Joseph, here, this is a yes. This is a yes. Light and shadow, yeah, banger. Really great shot. Photos of the week this week is going to be hard. Photos of the week this week are going to be hard. Thank you for making it difficult for me. Because when it's easy, it means that too many people mailed it in when it's easy. When it's hard, that means so many people not only got the assignment, but excelled at it. It just makes it like super difficult. This is Joe Franklin, everybody. Shot this on a black background with a light using a dome reflector and a frosted diffuser on the left, small reflector on the right, speed light behind for rim, Lumix S5 Mark II, Panasonic 50mm f8 at 1/250th at ISO 100. The emotion is frustration and doubt, as this is the last of 79 at 4 in the morning. Joe Franklin, diving deep. Let's see what Joe's got. Let's go, Joe Franklin. Joe, you need this, though. You need this discipline, because from discipline comes fantastic photography. Like, this is fantastic. This is fantastic. Let's look at the focus. Joe, come on. I mean, your front light's a touch high because you have deep set eyes and a bit of a brow. If you drop your light too high, your brow will actually shadow your face, which it's actually doing right here. You can see where your furrow is up here. Obviously, you see where your furrow is and how it meets right there because you're in furrow. And that furrow is putting this shadow line because light travels in straight line, and it's because your light is up here coming down. I would lower the light just a touch, enough to give you like probably closer to the light that's happening on this eye, where it's just kind of cutting in here, to have that on this eye where that shadow line comes in through here, which is just lowering the light a little bit. You can see that line here with your nose. You can literally, light travels in straight lines. You can just simply just do this and just follow this line, and it'll take you right to where his light was. Super simple. So, and you can also do it here with just following this light and this shadow and take it. You can see exactly where his light was. So these are tricks that we do. There's another one here. You just follow the shadow here to hit the tip of his nose, and it also shows you where the light was. So this is how I break down light, but it's how you break down light. It's how you break down light and know if you need to lower your light, move it more to the side, move it more to, it's all about where the shadows go. This for me though, honestly, Joe Franklin, this is a 10 out of 10 / I'm actually going to give you an 11. And the reason is because you just made your mark. You just made your mark. That's why I'm giving you an 11. You're in my accelerator. This feels like Karsh. And if you don't know who, oh my goodness, who Yusef Karsh is, give me my tool back. Yusef Karsh. That's the guy you got to say. Like, this feels like a Karsh. And the discipline in order to get this to feel like this is a lot. And also, when you use strobe lights, when you use studio strobes, just look at the sharpness when you use studio light. Like, just look at the difference. Like, why would you not? Why would you not? Why would you use LEDs when you can get this with studio light? Do you know what I mean? Why would you use LEDs? LEDs are for video. They're not for photography. They're not optimized for the readings that we need with photography. Joe, you did this right. This is 100% a yes, Joe Franklin. Yes. Yes, 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 yes. Yes, 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 yes. Joe Franklin, welcome. And again, this is good for you, Joe. I'm very proud of you, buddy. Good shit. This is like when I have new people hitting it out of the park. New people. Makes me happy. This is Christina Cole. Hello, Carty and crew. Shot in my kitchen around 2 a.m. The house was quiet. I felt creative. Shot on a tripod, 10-second self-timer with a yellow gel and a Godox speed light. EOS R, 50mm 1.8, ISO 2000. This is Christina Nicole giving me emotion, light, and shadow with her self-portrait. Christina Nicole, let's look at this as a cover. I mean, this is so close. This is so close. Lighting with yellow gel is defeating a purpose. I want to explain this. When you light with a yellow gel, what you're doing is you're reducing color temperature and making it feel warm when it actually, like, you can make your photos feel warm without making them yellow. Do you know what I mean? And in fact, lighting with a yellow gel in the way that you're lighting is something you could just put over on top in post. Do you know what I mean? So there's no real reason for it. But then also, I told you earlier, lighting skin yellow is not flattering. So the yellow gel that's in your kit bag, you're allowed to use that yellow gel to light a background to make a room yellow, but you don't light the subject. You keep the subject neutral. And that's what gels are for. Gels are not necessarily to light skin. Gels are to light behind the skin, to throw slashes of color, to mix that with, like, all you need to do is look at Jill Greenberg. That's the first thing. And again, I show Jill Greenberg so often. She is, if you're trying to use gelled lights and you're not looking at Jill Greenberg, you're doing yourself a huge disservice. You have to look at how Jill Greenberg uses gels. If you're going to use gels, you have to look at this girl. This is how you use gels. And you have to look at a master using gels. A master. And even this, I would never light Caucasian skin with gels because it's not flattering. That's Jill Greenberg. That's a self-portrait. So it's look at that. If you're gonna do it, you have to find references that make you throw up in your mouth and use that as the starting point. That's how you have to do it. You notice this picture? You notice how you don't see any shadows on the wall? Because she's pulled off the wall. So you don't see the double multiple light shadows. She's not up this is what takes it to the next level. So there's always got to be references. You always have to look at references before you go out and execute. Show me the reference. What are you trying to achieve? And if you're just doing something from your own head, I'm sorry to say, that's not a proven concept. That's not a proven concept because you haven't been in a magazine yet. So usually your own personal ideas, not always, but sometimes they're not at the level that they need to be, which is why you look at other people's ideas that have proven to work, find tons of those, and then you pick and choose and put together your own sensibility based on other people's work that works. So when you're using gels, what I want you to do is look at a gel psycho like Jill Greenberg. I hope that helps you, Christine. So now when we're looking back at your photo, you can see that the way that you're using gel is not the way that you use gels. You're just putting it on top of you, which is just putting it where the light is. The light's lighting you, therefore the light is that gel color. You need to use it more for hints and for accents and for pops. As far as the emotion, yes, this dread is definitely covering your eye being closed, which I really need this detail of your eye being closed, but this dread is covering that. So the first thing I would do is move this hair so it's here, so I actually see the eye, and then I would move this hair off your mouth so I could see more expression in your mouth. And then again, the camera's low, aiming up, and your head is back, which is never flattering because we're looking up your nose. Do you know what I mean? It's never flattering to be. But it's like when people pose in a self-portrait, that's the thing to think of. Camera low, head back. It's like the Kennedy assassination. So we back to the left. That's something that eye contact is how you create emotion. Eye contact. And if you're going to be closing your eyes, you have to show that you're closing your eyes and that's an instant connection that I see your eyes are closed, which we're not getting that because your hair's in front of your eyes. So it's making it take longer for me to be able to take in what's happening. And then the background, you're doing this in a window. So I have the window here, which is out into the darkness, which I see nothing here, which gives me no contrast against your hair here. So there's hair down here, but the light here and the light here, there's no difference. So I see no difference. And then distracting, these lines are distracting. And then there's the wall here. So there's contrast here against your hair, but you're cut off here. So what's over here that you can use and move yourself over here so you're shooting yourself that way, not from the side. So whenever you're splitting your backgrounds, you have one background over here and you have a different background over here. Don't put yourself in the middle of two backgrounds. One background. clean and non-distracting so I can focus on this. So for me, Christine, this is like, there's a couple of things that are like, that don't work in this picture. They're small fixes, but I always need you to be thinking, what is behind me? And how is that taking away from what I'm doing? And for this one, there's too many things behind you that are really tying and fighting for your attention. Eye contact. And if you're not going to give me eye contact, like show me like this, that your eyes are closed, like looking close. You know what I mean? I hope that helps you. I hope that brings you value. And again, don't get discouraged. Just know that like references. If you want to be a pro photographer, look at other pro photographers. End of story. That's it. Look at other pro photographers and not just look at it and be like, wow. Like break it down, figure out what they're doing, and then look at your work and be like, what could I be doing that's more close to what a professional level photographer is doing? How simple am I with my ideas? Am I just like coming up with an idea and just doing it? Or am I coming up with an idea, which actually isn't an idea, it's a thought. Too many people make thoughts into photographs. It's a thought, it's not a photo. It's just, oh, look at that, click. Oh, look at that, click. Oh, it's like these quick thoughts, and you turn these quick thoughts into photos, but they're not developed. They're not developed. It's like you have a stick and you're just putting different sticks in the ground without a plan, a blueprint to be able to turn that stick into a structure. When you think of it that way, every photograph that you make is actually a piece of building material, and they stack on top of themselves. And when it's all together, it's called a portfolio. And that portfolio, people see that and they're like, wow, I want that person to build elements for me so I can take their elements and build my business or build my house. This is why making pictures is what we do, not taking pictures. Hope that helps you. Hope that brings you value. All right, let's look at our next shooter. This is Stevie Germaine. Stevie says, self-portraits for me has always been a challenge. I hope I rose to the occasion. Camera's a phase 1 XF with an 80mm lens, which is a 50mm equivalent. Shot in studio f7.1, a 16th, f7.1 at 1600th of a second at ISO 100. I guess if you're shooting with a phase, you probably have a leaf shutter. I use one 400-watt light with an 8-inch modifier, 30-degree grid, black side of the V-flat, shot at 1600 to render the background black in camera, 1600th of a second. This is Stevie G, also known as Stevie Germaine. Stevie, thanks for submitting. Let's go. Where's my applause? Thank you, Stevie. This is a powerful picture, Stevie. It definitely is powerful. Like, I'm feeling it. The exposure is a little dark. Let's just hide the masthead so I can zoom in. The exposure is just a little under. Like, I want you again to look at my skin, and although we're different complexions, still exposure is what we're trying to register. The exposure here is dark. It's hella sharp, like really sharp, but I would want this to be plus a half a stop. So this pops a little bit more. The white in the gray in your beard pops a little bit more. I understand that you're using negative fill in order to stop fall off happening back here, which is great. Everything is right about this picture, Stevie, except the exposure. Everything is right. The framing, the idea, the attitude, that everything is right. I would love like a reflector back here to actually, rather than have you pushing out of the light, to have just a little bit of separation, which still gives us mood and drama. This is a yes for me, but sadly I can't give you an 11 because of the exposure. But this is the direction that I need you moving, Stevie Germaine. This is a definite improvement. Keep moving on this trajectory, man. That's what we're asking for. Good shit, Stevie. All right, Stevie Germaine, let's go. Next, this is Kim Palumbo. With this self-portrait exercise, I tried to convey the hardships that I've endured, one of the most challenging years of my life. I shot a series of 3, which I felt encapsulated the experience. The pain and slow recovery through self-awareness and care. I don't have a flip-out screen on my camera, so positioning my hand was challenging without being able to see the reflection. I did not have the use of a tripod. A shot at 24 millimeter, 1/100th of a second, f2.8 at ISO 400. This is Kim Palumbo. Kim, thanks for submitting. Now, I know that you know that this is a vertical assignment, and that's why you took a photo that was horizontal and then turned it to vertical in order to make this assignment. Kim, this is a vertical assignment. I asked for a vertical photo. This is a horizontal photo that you rotated. I know this clearly because you can't stand on the walls, and I see things like drapes in the background, doors in the background that are standing like this. So I know clearly you held the camera like this, you put your finger on it, and you took a picture of yourself, obviously. So for that reason, like, I need you. I know you're having a hard time, and I totally understand that, but the things that are the hardest to see sometimes are right under our nose. Like, you have to read the brief. And when you see the brief and you see everybody else is submitting vertical pictures, your solution for you submitting to the assignment can't be, okay, I'll take my horizontal picture and I'll turn it vertical. Because if that's the kind of stuff that you would do for a client, like, oh, your client said, I need a vertical picture, and then you take their horizontal picture and then just turn it sideways and say, here you go. Like, would you do that for a client? Of course you wouldn't. So doing it for me, Kim, who's going to notice this stuff more than me? I'm a psychopath when it comes to this stuff. You absolutely can't pass this off on me. I'm surprised one of my mods didn't say, oh my God, Kim, don't do it. Kim, don't do it. Carty's going to freak. And it's just, it's like all the elements there, but you can't miss the brief, and you can't think that I'm going to say this is okay. You can't think that, because I am just a reflection of the industry. The industry would say, no, Kim, that does not qualify as a vertical picture. No. If I was an art director, if I was a photo editor, if I paid you money to do this assignment and it was a vertical assignment and you gave me a horizontal picture, you don't get paid. End of story. And this situation, you're paying me to help you. You're paying me to help you, but you're not following the brief. So then, like, that means, like, you're so scattered that you're not actually even reading, you're not even paying attention. So that's a you thing, that you have to just slow down, regroup. You're in my accelerator. You're in my, like, I have a support system to help you. The photography is what you're asking me to help you to learn how to do. Not just that, but how to make a business out of it. How to make this your business, your full-time business. Are you going to be doing this with your clients? If the answer is no, use this format to be excellent. Use this format. Use this where there's no consequence. All you need to do is be excellent. All you need to do, follow the brief. All you need to do is do the assignments like any client would ask you to do. So if you want your business to be successful, the first and foremost thing is fulfill the ask. I asked you to do this, and then you did something else. So that doesn't equal money. And you'll never make money at this if that's your modus of operandi. Kim, please, I'll say again, I know this shit already. This is for you. It's not for me. Please follow the brief and read and like just horizontal picture, vertical picture. It is a vertical brief. Go to the submission folder. Notice everybody's submitting vertical pictures. Yours is horizontal. Shoot it again. Shoot it again. Don't mail in stuff here. It's not needed, please. That is Kim Palumbo, everybody. All right, this is our next shooter. This is Monica P. Monica says, embracing light. Canon R6 Mark II, 20 to 35. My hobby landscape lens. I ask why you're shooting portraits with it, if it is your hobby landscape lens, but okay. 35 millimeter, shot at 35 millimeter, f4.5 at 250th of a second, ISO 1600. Shot in a space too tight for my portrait, 50 millimeter. No room to move me or the camera apart to capture this light pattern. Okay, so let's see what Monica has. Monica P. Thanks for submitting, Monica. Monica, I definitely see what you're trying to do. Like this is like, I asked for an emotional portrait using light and shadow. I think you saw this light and just grabbed your camera and just trained it on and looked and like I need this to be thought out. I need you to think like, what's the proper emotion for this scene? And because you shot with that lens that you shot, it does now give us that like leading line look with the way that these lines are moving in here, the way that this line is moving, the way that this line is moving, the way that this line is moving. Like it gives us like a lot of stuff to look at. And also it does do some weird distortions, although this isn't distorting your face that much. This block of brightness, which is literally, in order to get this exposure properly, this in here is literally 2 stops over. It's 2 stops over, right? And then the exposure here is where was what you're exposing for. So having this and this both in the same frame, either you're going to get black or you're going to get completely blown out. And you chose for completely blown out. But it's blown out on such a level that it's actually making black white. Because this looks like it's a black tank top. Like you can see the straps up here. They're dark. But down here, it's actually making a black tank top white. And it's so bright. Our eye goes to the lightest thing. Always. Our eye is trained to follow the light. So wherever the brightest thing is in the picture, that's where our eye is going to go first. So our eye is going here first, which is just a lack of data. And then we're seeing your face afterwards as a secondary thought. And then that's when it's like, okay, now there's no why. It's just, look at this pattern. Look at this pattern. Like that's now the photo. It's not like, let me scrouch myself down so this pattern is hitting my face, set up a tripod and like expose that light pattern as normal and then have the rest go to black. Do you know what I mean? Like now that's the photo. So it's like shooting, once you shoot in shade, I understand you're supposed to shoot in shade because light is hard and shadows are hard, blah, blah, blah. But for this particular idea, I feel like you execute this wrong and the face expression doesn't match. And it's like my eyes are focused. Monica, so close, so close, so close. I'm not sure why I am in the middle of possibly a crash. Hopefully not. Hopefully not, but OBS might be crashing. Hang tight. Let's see if this... It's like there's too many missing elements. And again, when you're using mixed light in the same photo, it's like you got to choose light or dark. You chose shadow, and in this You were chasing the light and then you missed the photo. Like, not like missed the photo, you got the photo, but you chased the light and missed the concept. So for me, this is a miss for me. I hope that helps. All right, that is Monica P, everybody. Experiencing crazy frame drops right here. I do not know why that is. I'm not sure why that is, people. I apologize. And believe me, like, getting another machine is... I'm dying to buy an M4 Mac Mini Pro or an M4 Mac Studio. I will buy it tomorrow if it was available for me to buy. But sadly, I'm not going to buy a chip I'm not going to buy a 2-year-old chip and spend $3,000 on a computer. So it's like, that to me makes absolutely no sense. That is an old chip. So what I'll do is I'll wait. And that's what I've been doing. And I'm right at my limit. I'm actually getting to the limit of like my computer capacity, like what my machine can do. There's just like, I'm continually dealing with the limit of what my machine can handle. So bear with me, but that is definitely what I'm dealing with right now. All right, so let's get into our next viewer. Hopefully I don't have too many things. I have barely anything running. That's the thing that's also frustrating, is I have barely anything running here. And yet I still am dealing with crashes from time to time. All right, let's get into who's next. And if anybody watching, one of my mods, could tell me how many photos I have left, that would help me greatly. Thank you. This is Mike Howell. Looking for intelligent imitation ideas, came across Obi-Wan in a hooded robe. My Packers jacket with hood got the nod. Shot with the Nikon 800, 60mm 1.8, shot at a 15th of a second. ISO 5000, strobe camera left. Mikey, let's have a looky. Mike, thanks for submitting. Yeah. I'm gonna have to drop the smoke because that seems to be really part of killing this. Mike, there's definitely something here. I'm definitely feeling it. My OBS is very much dropping all the frames right now. I am trying to figure out how to make this progress a little bit further. Thank you. I think we'll make it. I think we'll be able to get through these last 12, but thank you, calligraphy. But I am going to be doing some overhauls on the computer and the maintenance to see, like, I need to just get to October, the October Mac release, when they'll release my next machine. Like, then I can buy it. It's not even a shortage of money. Like, if it made sense for me to go buy a machine and then buy another machine 3 months later, I'd do it. But it's like, I have an M1 Mac Mini with 16 gigs of RAM and 512 SSD. And I deal with frame drops, and second, it was but it's hacked because my machine gets like, it's like right now. Okay, so the eye closeness here, Mike, versus here, your nose is centered, right? But it's just how close that one eye comes to that frame. Let's look at this as a cover. As a cover, like, I feel like this is just a touch close. That's the only issue. And also color balance. I want you to make sure the same thing that I touched on with the white balance. With this, there's nothing to grab like the white balance from. But I feel like your skin tone is just a little grabbing the right color balance. But for me, Mike, this is a win because I know like you're really pushing and trying to progress yourself along this journey as a pro photographer. I accidentally hit the smoke again and glitched my shit out. Apologize. But Mike, this is an incredible offer. I need you to keep shooting self-portraits and just watch your edges. Claustrophobic. Just watch your eye line. But this is a win for me. I'm giving Mike applause. Applause will probably work, maybe. No. Applause, smoke. No, we're deading that. All right, that was Mike Howell. Let's see who's next. Next shooter is Anna K. Anna says, c'est moi. ISO 320, 50mm, 7.1, ISO 125. Shot with a Nikon D780. I available light. This is Anna Kaya. Anna is in my accelerator program. Anna Kaya, this is a yes for me, Anna. I want to hit the applause. I want to hit the smoke, but every time I seem to move into Safari, it's like totally jacking and eating all my frames and making OBS lag like I've never seen. I really don't know why this is the case. Let's do some things. We're going to quit Chrome. Let's see if that makes a bit of a difference. Chrome is in the background. That's very bizarre. All right, Anna, this is, for me, a win. This is an 11. This is an 11 out of 10 for me, like 100% a yes. I'm very frustrated that my frames are dropped. Experience for you, imagine how bad it is for me being a presenter with all of these people watching. So I do understand it's happening. I see it is happening. If you're watching me after the fact, please don't leave comments because I know. Okay, Anna, this is a yes for me. This is perfect light, perfect Rembrandt light. This is just a yes. The exposure is right. You didn't let your exposure go too far. You have a tendency to lean light with your exposure, but you really held this. I love the sensibility. It's so swaggy. This is an absolute 11 out of 10. 100%, Anna. This is yes. Yes, 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 yes. You absolutely deserve it. That's a yes. Yes. Anna, Kaya. That is for sure passing the grade. Let's see who else we have. That was great, Anna. All right, this is Nicholas Freddy. Nicholas says, this is my submission for the week. I've encountered some difficult times in my personal life lately, but I always count on the light of the divine to help me walk through the darkness. I really struggled to execute my ideas here. I wanted it to be as good as possible with the small knowledge I have. Done with one light, shot with a Canon R6 Mark II, 50mm 1.8, ISO 100, shot at 5.6 at 100th of a second. This is Nicholas Freddy. Let's get Nicholas Freddy pulled up here. Nicholas, thanks for submitting. Nicholas, this is a great execution, man. This is a really great execution. The small things that you can do is make sure that you don't have that cross getting too white, because what ends up happening when it gets too white is it actually starts to dominate the white t-shirt or the light-ish t-shirt that you're wearing. But this for me is like really, it's right there. Like this is right on that line. How you manage to do the cross, the placement, looking at it as a cover, like this is 100% a yes for me. I'm going to give it an 11. This is a yes out of 10. Yes out of 10, Freddie. And you did well. And again, you got good detail up in here. We didn't lose any detail with your black hair against the black background, which is really hard to do. We have detail in here. And guess what? We also have detail in the highlights. detail in the highlights and detail in the shadow. So like, and really, really sharp focus. This is a yes, Freddie. 100%. This is yes. That is Nicholas Freddie. Well done, dude. Good job. And again, it's like, applause. Sorry. You see how much the applause and the smoke helps my effects here when I don't have smoke or applause? You're just like, just seems matter of fact. You know what I mean? But the smoke and the applause helps me greatly. All right, let's look at Mats Carlson. Mats, geez, guys. This is my self-portrait shot on the R6 with a 100-500. At 100 millimeter, a 500th of a second, f5, ISO 800. Continuous with a softbox. It might be an odd choice of lens for portrait, but it's one of the 2 lenses that I own besides the 50 1.2. Took a lot of photos with both lenses, but this came out as my favorite. This is Mats Carlson. Mats, this is an incredibly special photo. Like an incredibly special photo, Mats. And it's like, I don't know whether you know it or not, but it's okay if you don't, because I do. You chose it. So obviously you feel like you felt something. I feel something too, and I see it. Look at that eye contact. Look at how his eyes are tracking right where he's looking. Glasses pushed up nicely, super clean, no reflections in the glasses. Like, look at that light, how he's pushing out from the light, but you still see detail back here. Like, this is a technically perfect picture. This is Mats Carlson, and Mats, like, I know you have this in you. I know you have this in you, and seeing you just start to hit these photos of the week, like, this makes me really happy, Mats. This is absolutely incredible. Like, really, this is someone saying in chat, a 12 out of 10. This is excellent. This is Mats Carlson, everybody. That's another banger. Banger. Okay, so I'm discovering the lag is happening when I'm going between OBS and Safari. This, let's see where we're at. Okay, my brother's the last. All right. This is Taylor Valentine. Taylor says, shot with the Nikon Z6 Mark II, Nikon 40mm, f2, 3.5, 1/80th of a second at ISO 800. Taylor Valentine with self-portrait, emotion, light, and shadow. Taylor, thanks for submitting. Let's have a look at Taylor. Let's see this as a cover. Show me my cover. It's lagging. It will catch up. Word to your mama. There we go. There's my cover. Again, I know I'm lagging. We're almost through, guys. This is Taylor Valentine. Taylor, you see the level of photography that people are submitting for their light and shadow execution. This is always about, like, how far can you push in order to execute something that hits? I know you're an outdoorsman. I can see that. But I feel like there's a lot of head ornamentation happening here. We have eyeglasses, you have a toque on, and then you have sunglasses on top of your toque. You're wearing a jacket. It makes sense, obviously, but it's just you sitting in the woods. And I know, yes, you're in a patch of sun, but it's not enough. It's not enough. And if you look at the tree placement that is right here, like coming right of your head, why not drop your head here? And then I see this light thing over here and this thing over here, which are 2 pieces of debris that I would definitely retouch out or take out of my scene. And of all the scenes in all the beautiful places that you've been in your life, is this the scene? The stop, drop, and roll, oh my God, let's bust out my camera and take a portrait right here. Is this the spot, Taylor? I don't think it's the spot. I think that this is just a spot that there was light catching through and you just sat down and caught it. The light's not even hitting your face, my guy. It's hitting your jacket. So what you do is you scoot forward and then you let this patch of light that's here hit your face and then expose for here, and then it makes the background darker and it gives the scene more drama. Gives the scene more like oomph. Exposing the shadow, it's much like what Monica did. Now you're bringing something in your scene that's brighter than your skin tone, which is making my eye go there before I see anything. Where my eye goes first is this arm. Then it goes this, then it goes this, then it goes here. So you're causing fighting. And then this tree is just making me angry. Now that makes me angry because now that means that you didn't scan the frame before you placed the shot. And then the horizon line, you're on a hill. So then the horizon is sort of not straight or square and the trees are bent. It's just, it's not the spot. It's not the spot. So for me, because it's not the spot, it's like it's not the idea. And there is no idea other than just you sitting in a patch of light. So for me, you have to reach way deeper in order to make this a career. You have to. There's no other way. It's like you see the other shooters and how far they are like grown men crying for self-portraits because they're reaching inwards to get something. That's rarely gonna happen when you're just, oh, there's something, let me just grab it. It's like, no, dude, it's gotta be way deeper. I hope that helps you. That is Taylor Valentine, people. Thanks for submitting, Taylor. Let's see who is next. This is Sebastian Kawaka. This is me after coming back from my 9 to 5. Tired, sad, empty. I think this is my first photo for a while where I didn't follow the editorial rules. Sigma, 35mm 1.2, Sony A7 IV, shot at ISO 100, 35mm f5.6 at 1/250 a second with a 2-light setup. This is Sebastian Kawaka. Sebastian with his self-portrait light shadow extravaganza. Like literally the whole concept of this is to shoot a self-portrait that shows like light, shadow, and emotion. Like those are the three elements that are necessary, or that excuse me, that were necessary or are necessary in order for you to capture this photo. The double flash is always jarring. I'll say again, you heard me say it earlier to other shooters. There is only one sun. When you light with two lights, especially if you're up against the wall, you're doing something wrong. I'll say that. You're dealing with double shadows. It's so visually jarring. You see it never. And you never see it as an example that I show you. So, Sebastian, the on-camera flash, like I see double catch lights in the eyes. So the double catch lights is hyper shocking. And you're not like lighting with one and then filling in with the other one. It's two lights in the same spot, just like, which is, it doesn't make sense. So please don't do this. Please don't do this. Please don't do this. I'll say again, don't do this. There's one sun. Learn how to light with one light before you light with two lights. Because what's worse than not knowing how to light with one light is not knowing how to light with two lights. Literally, you learn how to light with one first. Then secondary light is only an accent. You see how I have this highlight back here, right here, this little separation highlight? That's happening from these lights, which I'm using for separation. Do you see this little highlight of pink that's on my face here every time you see me look that way? That's separation. You see it happening on my chair, on my shoulder. It's separation to separate me from the background. That's like But the front, I have lights all over the studio. I have one light here, one, because there's one sun, which is why this light on me looks so natural, because there's not two lights. And guess what? If you look at my eye, there's only one catch light, and especially if I move that screen. There's only one catch light right here. Small things, Sebastian, but they're important things. They're important things. You do not light two lights from the front. That's the first thing. The second thing is you have to move your light off of the camera axis. You can't have your light at the same axis that your camera is, the same height, the same projection, the same direction, which is on-camera flash, which is what this looks like. On-camera flash is not professional. It's like people who don't know how to light with on-camera flash. So trying to be a professional, you have to show that you do know how to light. And that means not using on-camera flash. And the assignment was light and shadow showing emotion. And like the interplay between light and shadow showing emotion. There is no interplay between light and shadow because your light is at camera position, meaning your lens is here, your light is here, filling 100% and bouncing back shadowless light, which is what you're giving us. So other than the shadow that's behind you, which is a byproduct of you doing on-camera flash, that this byproduct does not equal light and shadow and a shadow play between light and shadow. Where I want to see light and shadow is here on your face. And it's as flat as you could possibly be. So for me, Sebastian, this is a miss. Crop wise, cool cover crop. But again, it's just, I know what you're capable of, Sebastian. I know what you're capable of. You have the equipment even. It's just where you're placing it is in the wrong place to achieve what you're thinking that you need to achieve. If you have the ability to take your flash off of your camera and move it somewhere else, that's what we have to do. Seriously, that's why you have triggers and all of that stuff. So a bit of a miss for me, Sebastian. And again, like, you have this in you. I know that you have the ability to absolutely knock this out of the park. And I know you're going to do it next time. Sebastian Kawaka. All right. We are getting into our last few photographs, guys. And then I'm going to give you your photos of the week. And then I am going to give you this week's assignment. Fred. This is Fred Deadsy. I would call this one Defeat. Shot with my Canon R6 Mark II with a 7200 2.8, 81 millimeter, 3.2 ISO 100 at... Okay, this is Fred Deadsy. Fred missed the brief completely. You definitely are showing a self-portrait. You are definitely showing emotion because you're saying that you're defeated, but you're not showing interplay between light and shadow. You're just on your deck, which means how far you went to take this photo was from where your gear is. You opened your tripod, you went to your deck, you set up the scene, and you took a photo. Now, what's the first thing that I see? The first thing that I see is this going directly through your head. The next thing I see is I see raccoon eyes because the position of the light is top light and it's not the right position of the light for flattering skin. So it's like, I understand the body language. I understand the defeat. I understand all that, but that can be conveyed right here. This tight, just a portrait, which is what I asked for, which is a portrait of you, a self-portrait of you showing light and shadow. You're showing so much scene that I know what your running shoes are and that you're wearing jeans and that you're playing backgammon and that there's this timer here and there's dice and you're on a deck. Like, there's so much context, but it's all context without substance. Like, I know that, like, I need more. I need more. You need to remove distraction from your photos. And again, I'll say this. If I was a client and I was paying you $500 to make a self-portrait showing light and shadow and emotion, would this be worthy of me paying the invoice? That's what I'm asking. And if you're saying, yeah, probably not, then why are you shooting it? Why are you shooting it? Because this whole thing is an exercise in you getting better. And how you get better is by trying, like actually trying. Because there's no point in like paying money if you're not going to try. What's the point? If you're just looking for validation, use your buddies to be like, dude, you're a great photographer. Don't use a pro with 34 years experience who's going to see everything. I'm going to see everything. And I'm going to tell you exactly why it doesn't work. Don't use me to try to slide something by, because it never works. It never works. It's worked exactly 0 times. Just look at anybody else who's tried to do it. So you're hurting yourself here by not trying as hard as that you need to. Honestly, you're hurting only yourself by not trying as hard as you need to move the needle. And look at the examples of the people before you. Like today, it's not like they're better photographers. They just try hard. They're not even trying harder. They're just trying smarter. Remove distractions. Create an area, like create an area for the photograph. So you just see the emotion, like create a little gobo. So you see light and shadow. Those things, like you missed the whole create a self-portrait using light and shadow. You missed that part. I'm near the end of my patience here. And that usually happens when we get near the end, which is number 1, somebody submitting on the last day, in the last hours, and also mailing it in. That's what this is the result that you're going to get from me. If you haven't shot it yet, and it's like the day of, oh my God, I got to shoot something. It's like, don't bother. Because the people who are winning photos of the week, they started thinking of it the day that I gave them the assignment, which was Thursday. They started thinking about it then, started mapping it out. And then between now and Wednesday, they've shot it. Have the time to do that. Again, this is all on you. I am just providing a service which is helping you get better at photography. That is it. That helping you not only just get better at photography, but like see the world how a pro sees it. See the world how the industry sees standards, so you can actually meet them, exceed them, and actually work. This is Randolph L. Grubbs, which is also known as G as him. He's been away for a bit, but he's back. Shot with the Canon 5D Mark II with 50mm 1.4 with 2 strobes. 1/250th of a second, ISO 5.6 at ISO 100. This is Randolph Grubbs the second. Self-portrait. All right. So I definitely see the emotion. I mean, the emotion is definitely like, I just see what you're trying to do is what I'm going to say. And again, for you, Randolph, like I know this is a big push because I'm pushing you outside your comfort zone, which is always necessary. This is good. This is good. I want you to watch your eye line. You dropped your eye line very much dead center in the frame. If I just go to the halfway point, you'll see your eyes are right half through. Frame. But overall, this is good for me. Like I can handle the vibe here. This is good. I feel your exposure is just a bit low, by about half. So watch your exposure. His like imagining it, we're the same value, like his exposure, like his framing is pretty close, although you're offset to the left a little bit. Offset this way just a bit. Small things though, but again, Randolph, this is a big push for you and a big improvement. I want to see you staying on the course and now that you're back, staying back and stay with the consistency, and you're going to see how quick like you actually progress. This is a good one. Thank you, Randolph. All right. A7 Mark III, 80 millimeter, 1.4, 500th of a second, 7.1, ISO 100. Okay, so this is Gary Rishi with his light shadow emotion self-portrait. Gary, thanks for submitting. Gary. So the light and shadow, like you opted for a silhouette angle rather, and again, the lag, I'm very aware of how bad the lag is. I have lag. Lagging. I'm very aware. You tuned in late. I've taught. Gonna stop my stream if someone else mentions it. I'm frustrated. I know that I'm lagging. Please don't mention it because I'm the one who's presenting. I'll say again, I'm presenting. I know that I'm lagging. I can see it right before my very eyes. Especially if you're tuning in late and then being like, oh my God, he's lagging. It's like, and then 7 people tune in late and then 7 different people say it 7 different times. It gets to a point where I just say, okay, I'm just going to stop. I'm pushing on is what I'm doing. I'm pushing on. Mike. I mean, this is Gary. Gary, for me, the silhouette is not what we were hoping for here. Like asking for a silhouette assignment, I could easily do that. I could easily say, hey, make a silhouette. You know what I mean? And we could all do that. We could all do that. We all are skilled enough to know if you backlight a situation, it's going to be a silhouette. We all know that. So for me, that being your offer, that's not the and emotion. So when we're using light and shadow, well, the light is the sky way back there. The shadow is me that you can't see. And that's my picture. It's like, well, sure, dude, you can spread it on peanut butter and you can spread it on bread and it'll stick. You know what I mean? But is this going to make your client happy? My client asked for a or he asked me to shoot a portrait of him showing light, shadow, and emotion. And this is what I gave him. Is your client happy, Gary? Is your client over the moon? Or you know what I mean? The way that he used light and you actually can still see the person. You can still see the identity of the person. We pay for brand identity. We don't pay for silhouettes, which is why you rarely see a silhouette in play unless it's like a baseball player swinging. So just the silhouette, Michael Jordan jumping up for a dunk, that silhouette, you know that silhouette and what it is. You haven't established brand identity yet. You haven't established brand identity. So because of that, a silhouette of you doesn't work, which is why I don't use silhouettes of me. And you might think that I have way more brand awareness than you do, but I'm still not doing it because I need people to see my face, which is why I put light on it. So this is missing the brief: light, shadow, and emotion. This is a silhouette, which is a technique of, or also an accident when you backlight and don't know what you're doing. So trying to mask this as a hit, I can't reward it. I can't, Gary. And I think that you know that. And I think that you can like absolutely swing for the fences and knock this out even better than you did here. That brings you value, Gary. All right. Gary Rishi. We have a couple more. We're in our last 3. This is Mike Lilly. Mike says, inspired by Shadow and Light. Creepy Alley in Daytona. Shot on the Sony A7 Mark III, 85mm 1.8. Shot f4, 13th of a second, ISO 320. Thank you for your continued indulgence. This is Mike Lilly Mike. Let's see what Mike's got. Mike, I definitely see what you're doing here. Let's look at this frame as a as a cover. I definitely see what you're doing. I just feel like the location, yes, but the pose, no. Do you know what I mean? I feel like the pose with your hand up towards the sky, it's not like, I don't see up there what you're reaching up for. So I don't know. I don't have that context. But the exposure on you, like, this scene is dope enough that you could have been sitting cross-legged, like right here, sitting right here in front of the frame, looking like a Buddha, just looking straight at camera. You could be leaning against this wall and just move the frame over. You could be leaning against this wall and use this shadow play of light and shadow. But the holding the hand up to the heavens, like, I don't get the context. So the pose is wrong, which happens all the time. It's like right scene, wrong pose. So I want to see what other poses you did in this scene. I want to see what other poses you did in this scene, because technically, despite even shooting at such a slow shutter speed, technically your exposure, bang. That, like, the shadow detail, bang. Like, there's so many things that work in this photo, Mike. The only thing that doesn't is the pose. So that's the part where it's like, that's where it's hard, especially when you're shooting yourself. It's like, what do I do? What do I do? The first thing you do is don't pose. That it just looks hokey. So unless someone's actually talking to you and they catch you, which is not what this exercise in. This is like a self-portrait exercise. So for me, this is a yes on so many things, but a no on conveying the idea. And clarity is the word of the year. Clarity with what it is that you do, clarity with what your offer is, clarity with how you can help your clients, clarity with your website, your contact information, your social media. Everything that we do has to be clear. Clarity. And the call to action is clear. So you lost the clarity part of this assignment and clearly explaining what's going on. So that's where you lost me, Mike. But everything else, the idea, like, you had it all. It was all right there. I think on these situations, when you and your wife are both, like Cynthia, are both shooting self-portraits and both on an assignment, I'm not saying you need to take pictures of each other, but you need to help each other, man. You need to help each other, because both of you are weak in self-portraits. Both of you are weak in people photography. You're strong in shooting things. So help each other when it comes time to shoot self-portraits. Just help each other a little. I know you're doing it on your own, which is good, but when you help each other, you just level up faster. Okay, Sean Thompson. Behind a gate, I found my joy in the morning. Shot using a Nikon Z6, 24-70, 50 millimeter, shot at f4, 80th of a second. 50 millimeter, shot at okay, I'm going to start this all again. I'm tired, as you can see. Nikkor, 24-70, f4. Shot at 50 millimeter at an 80th of a second at f22. I'm not sure why you're shooting at f22. Sean Thompson, f22. I don't know anybody who shoots f22 that's not shooting food or architecture. So that's interesting. Let's have a look at Sean Thompson. Sean, thanks for submitting. Off the top, Sean, this is dark. And I know that this is shadow detail, but where the highlight actually is, this is also dark. And where the sun is actually hitting here, up here, this is also all dark. So your overall exposure is under, I'm going to call this by a third. In your the main part of your shot is shadow. The main body of your shot is shadow. And that main body of your shot is also underexposed. You can see the line here where the line goes where your face is. So if that's the case and you want the shadow side to be your main side, you got to nail the proper exposure where the highlights are. You can't have that also under. the Nike shirt and the like the this kind of a hat, that's mixing athletic, like Nike swoosh, with jazz, with like I'm a jazz star. Like those two don't compute. Those two brand identities don't compute. You're wearing a football jersey or a Florida Panthers jersey or whatever that logo is. I don't follow sports because I business to build. I don't want to watch other people literally excelling when I have not $1 million in the bank. So anyways, this is conflicting. This and this styling is conflicting. And I understand the hat is a means to an end because it gives you the brim and then gives you the blah, blah, blah. Okay, so then put a shirt on that's appropriate, that matches what you're wearing on the head. So for me, this is a miss for that. And it's like, again, the background, it's distracting. What if that was just a plain white wall or a plain gray wall or a plain dark wall? Then I would see this more. But because it's shot at f22, I have infinite sharpness to look at everywhere. So it's like as sharp up here, over here, over here, over here. Like some of the sharpest stuff is that wood. So it actually, it surpasses your mouth. There's no eye contact to actually see. So the sharpest, brightest thing in this photo is the wood. So that means like you're secondary to that. So non-distracting backgrounds are your friends. Non-distracting backgrounds. And I see this, whatever this shadow is, all distracting back there, Sean. So again, if you're going to do this kind of a picture, a non-distracting background is how you have to do it. You have to do it. And like, watch that shadow line. Don't be so much in the shadow that there's actually no light. And if you're wearing a Nike athletic shirt, you should be thinking of putting a baseball cap on or something sport, fitness related, not the like jazz saxophone hat. You know what I mean? Like your styling, it's you in the photo. Your styling has to match as well. I hope that helps you, my guy. That is Sean Thompson. And I believe we have one more picture. This is my brother. My brother, Les Carty, says, timing in the rain, lunch break ride, cloud watching on his favorite quarter mile. Had time to shoot 100 frames. I really like the light in this one with the dark clouds rolling in. Shot on the Canon T2i 50mm with a 10-second timer. ISO 100, f7, 4,000th of a Les, thanks for submitting. Wearing the unretouched merch. Bro, your arms are getting jacked. Les, as far as like self-portrait, emotion, light, and shadow, like those sentences, light and shadow. Oops, Dr. Scratch. Light and shadow, self, and emotion. So how can we see emotion if you're wearing a motorcycle helmet? We can't see emotion because you're wearing a motorcycle helmet. How can I see light and shadow if you're outside in the middle of the day, in the middle of no shade or cover? So for me, this is an editorial picture of you, meaning this is a magazine cover type photo of you. We lost the end of the bike. You can see your framing this way in here. You can see the framing with the wheel, and the wheel's cut here. So obviously you need to move over. There is no offset left or right when you're shooting verticals. And also like cutting the bike like that so abruptly, it's shocking. And it's like the bike, like why cut the ass end? And when there's so much space over here that we can use. So for the compositionally for an editorial portrait, it's like even that we have to move it over. As far as headspace and the like the eye line, like all of that works, but it's not showing light, shadow, emotion, which are the three main points with our brief. And if you can't see emotion because you're wearing a helmet, we're not seeing light and shadow because it's 12 noon and you're in the middle of a highway. Like, you can't make these kinds of photos this way. You can't make them on a motorcycle ride and pull over and try to make this kind of a photo. It just doesn't go. It doesn't work. So shot with the right camera, but like, your motorcycle can't be involved with this photo because it doesn't have anything to do with it. This is like a picture that should be this close. You know what I mean? Little strip of light, you pushing out. You know, like, there's many different attempts that we saw it this week, but I think this one missed, big bro. This is my big brother Les. Thank you so much for submitting. Sorry that I can't do any confetti or smoke or applause, but my machine, I literally want to pick up this hockey puck and throw it out the window. It is insanely hot right now. Like, if you knew how hot my machine is right now, it feels like it's going to explode. But as I mentioned earlier, this has been an issue for a minute. I'm going to see what I can do with OBS to strip away some of the stuff that I have in OBS so this runs a bit more efficiently. I restart my machine before I do a full hard reboot before I stream, because if I don't, sometimes that causes crashes. But the last couple of weeks, I've been having issues with the photo reviews, and it's not instant. It starts after the first hour. I start getting issues. So getting a new machine is inevitable. Pushing through to the end is because I don't let a single man down. Like, if you're paying for photo reviews, I'm reviewing your photos. I'm looking at everybody's. So there are no, like, I don't like also having to come back because I missed 4 photos from that last assignment. And now I'm on, like, it just makes it ugly. And I like everything to be tight. So, I have a couple of things here. Number 1, I have photos of the week. And number 2, I have this week's assignment. I'll say it quite clearly. Some of you absolutely broke my brain this week. Broke my brain. Like, you did so incredibly well. Others, I'm upset because it didn't hit as hard as you could. You didn't try as hard as you could. And you thought what you shot was good enough. And that's the part that just breaks my fucking brain. You thinking that good enough passes in like when you're trying to run your own business. Why is Apple so successful? Because they don't make computers that are good enough like PCs. PCs, they're all good enough, which is why if you're on a PC, you've had 6 in the last 10 years. Yes or yes. If you're on a Mac, you've had 2 in the last 10 years and they're still running. So, but my Mac right now, it's just what I do with mine. I push my Mac to like the absolute limit. And it's just like, okay, so now I need to upgrade into like an insane processor. And believe me, a month from now, what I'll do is I'll strip this OBS back till there's actually nothing in here. No perks, no anything, like just super basic scene, and see if I have no crashing then. Because I will literally process of elimination, eliminate things until I find the thing that's causing that lag, and then I'll remove it. So I will fix that problem even before I get my new machine. But first, let me give you the photos of the week, and then I'm going to give you this week's assignment. The photos of the week are simple, and let me open them. Let me open them one at a time. Let's start. Photos of the week. Ladies and gentlemen, I can't do drum rolls. That sucks. If you hear them, amazing, but I don't hear them. So this is really rough. But photos of the week go like this. Our first photo of the week, this is really shitty because I'm lagging so hard. So hard. This is making me absolutely crazy. I'm sure you can hear me, but yes. This is our first photo of the week. This goes to the one they call Mike Morrison. Mike, congratulations. This is a Carty approved photo of the week. mods and Joseph, please make note of my photos of the week. That is Mike Morrison with the first. Our next photo of the week goes to Samuel Saling. Photo of the week. Congratulations, Samuel Saling. You just won photo of the week. Let's go. That's Samuel Saling. Our next photo of the week. Our next photo of the week. Our next photo of the week goes to the one they call Sean Thomas. Sean Thomas, photo of the week, buddy. Congratulations. Sean Thomas, photo of the week. Congratulations. Our next photo of the week goes to Stephen Boudreau, photo of the week. An absolute smasher. Photo of the week, my friend. Congratulations. This is very, very well done. Photo of the week. Stephen Boudreau. Congratulations. Photo of the week. Our next photo of the week goes to Vicky Sonic. Vicky Sonic, congratulations. Well-deserved photo of the week. Congratulations, Vicky Sonic. The brief, light, and shadow, and emotion, and you. Light, shadow, emotion, and you. I can't give a photo of the week unless you hit all of those briefs. Our next photo of the week goes to Joshua Haney with this self-portrait. Haney, photo of the week. Congratulations, Joshua. Our next photo of the week. Our next photo of the week. Our next, where is it? Our next photo of the week goes to the one they call Salim El Madani. Salim, photo of the week. Very well deserved photo of the week, Salim. Congratulations, my guy. Salim El Madani. Our next photo of goes to, good for you, buddy, Doyle Daniels. Photo of the week with this photo right here. Light, shadow, emotion. Doyle Daniels. Congratulations, Doyle. Great job. Great job. Doyle Daniels, everybody. Our next photo of the week. I want to get that name right.
this channel. If it wasn't for you, we'd have to fill up these live streams with ads that would just interrupt the flow. The members of this channel make commercial-free content during these live streams possible. Consider becoming a member for $5 a month today to gain access to secret live streams, live chats, and to show your support with that crown badge next to your name. Sharing is caring. If this content has brought you value today, share it, clip it, post it to your socials. Curating and sharing helpful content makes you an expert, even if the content you're sharing isn't yours. Be a curator and share this content with your network.